Hi everybody, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Monday the 22nd of July. Thanks for joining me. I'm using the Morgan Greer deck for this tarot reading. Let's have a look at what the cards want you to be aware of for this day. And if you're starting out with the tarot, this is one of my favorite decks. It's easy to use. The symbols are often very self-explanatory, so if you're a beginner, I really recommend the Morgan Greer deck. It's lovely. So we've got Strength, the Three of Cups, and the Six of Cups in reverse. Lots of flowers, lots of yellow, really joyous, positive energy. The Strength card is a woman who is dressed in white. She's pure, she's got pure intentions, she's spiritually connected, but she's also part of the world. So she's kind of a spiritual seeker who's experienced. And what she does is she lovingly kind of soothes this animal, this beast. And the Strength card is really a symbol of what we all go through every day. It's managing our inner demons, the ego, this inner voice in our head that says you're not good enough, you can't do this, don't take this action because you're going to embarrass yourself, you're going to end up in the gutter, you're going to end up as a bag lady, you have to secure, all of those negative messages that we hear and that we tell ourselves and that are really, really self-destructive. Once we get on a spiritual path, or, once we get to the age of, 25 or something, those kind of messages, they start to sound familiar, and you realize that they're repetitive and that you have heard the messages before and that you continue to hear the messages. And you start to realize that just because you're hearing it and thinking it does not make it true. And spirituality then comes in, and when you connect with something bigger than yourself, you realize that there's also another way of thinking. There's the way of thinking that I'm beautiful, I'm unique, I'm a special child of the universe, I have a place in the world and in nature, I've been put on this planet for a reason, and I'm supported in managing these negative voices that try and keep me down. And when you realize that, and when you start thinking along those lines, you really flip the script and you turn your life around because you take your power back. And that's what strength really is. It's not about physical muscle. It's about spiritual strength. And it's about having the strength to say, I am beautiful, I'm able to do as I please, versus I am a failure, I'm never going to amount to anything, and I might as well just sink in a hole and disappear. You have this strength within you today. You're able to master this beast. And when you master the beast, the great thing is that you can harness its energy. A lion is powerful. So once you soothe the ego voice, and once you kind of stroke it and calm it, and it stops being negative, then you do flip the script around, and you start to be able to take the fire of the lion here, and you're able to use it to build yourself up and to strengthen yourself and to overcome these difficulties. And you're fired up. It gives you a sense of fun, enthusiasm, like you can overcome any obstacles. And you take your negatives, you transform them into positives, and you make them work for you. So that's you by yourself in a really good place, taking your flaws and turning them into assets. The next card is the Three of Cups, and these are three beautiful women celebrating, bringing a cup each to the table, a cup being a symbol of their feelings. It's like wearing your heart on your sleeve and saying, I'm showing up here with my love for you, with how I feel, and I want to share that with you in an open, honest way. I want to communicate. I want to be with you. I want to enjoy myself and celebrate, and I want to see the beauty in you and vice versa, and enjoy the abundance of my life and your life and our combined existences. So you're not the only one who's going to figure out how to master these beasts and these negative thoughts. A lot of people are going to be able to do the same thing. So there are a lot of people running around who are in a good mood and who want to do something fun. So pick those people. It's really important today that you vibrate up here and not down there. And you can really have two very different days. You can either choose the people who are complaining and who are in this mode of, oh, I can't and everything's going to go wrong. And you can spend time with them and go downhill. Or what's more likely is that you feel massively inspired and like attracts like. So because you're giving off this good energy, you attract other people who also happen to have a little bit of free time and who want to enjoy themselves and who want to get together and celebrate something and who want to hang out and chat and laugh and just enjoy the good energy that's floating around at the moment. And if you do that, first of all, the act of doing that in itself is enjoyable. But secondly, you start something new, because when you create that kind of positive energy, you manifest more positivity in your life. So you create opportunities for more positive events and circumstances in the future. And you learn how to communicate in a way that's much more loving and fun and easygoing. And the more you practice that, the more you become aware of that pattern and what it feels like and sounds like to talk to yourself in a positive way, so that you can actually make the choice of, okay, I'm going to listen to my positive thoughts rather than the negative ones, because now I'm starting to see what each one feels like and I can differentiate between the two. Finally, we've got the Six of Cups in reverse, and the Six of Cups is two children sharing a cup, giving a gift, and it's innocence, it's generosity, it's being selfless, it's really being loving in a genuine, authentic, childlike manner. It's really no agenda, nothing hidden, just wanting to make someone else happy and doing that in a way that's not particularly useful. You know, I'm giving you a bunch of flowers and sweets and it's cute and yay, but really if the chips were down and you asked me to help, then, you know, I wouldn't be able to do that because I don't have a lot of life skills. And the card is in reverse, so you're not a child. You do have the emotional history behind you. You do have emotional coping skills. You're not the same person you were at 7 and at 14 and at 21 and at 28. You are someone who's grown emotionally with every year that's gone by and with every negative dialogue you've listened to and the circumstance that created. And you've also experienced the positives and the times where you've been able to overcome the bad thinking and go with the positives and to include positive people in your life, and you've seen the positive outcomes. So this is a day where really life comes to a stop in a way, and it says, look, you have a choice here. look at what's going on in your head and choose to be strong in the sense that don't choose to listen to the thoughts about yourself that are negative and that lower your vibration, because those are just as true as positive thoughts that raise your vibration. So you have this moment of, okay, stop, I've got a choice. Not everything I think is true. I can deliberately choose to think in a positive way. I have the emotional background and skill to actually choose that and to stick with it. And then I can go out into the world. I can communicate with other people. I can have a lovely positive time. And I can share my positivity and get positivity back from other people and communicate. And that in itself is a healing process that makes me even stronger. So next time a negative ego thought comes up, I've got this memory, this emotional experience and an emotional skill that allows me to deal with the negativity, to say, okay, I've heard this before, bye-bye, I'm choosing not to believe it. And instead, I remind myself of the good time that I had when I put that bad negative influence away and I chose the more positive approach. So it's a day of learning how to differentiate the two choices you have within yourself. The duality of this planet becomes very apparent to you, and you start to really realize that you have a lot more control of your circumstances than you think, and it all starts with what's going on in your head. If we stop the war in our head, all of us, there wouldn't be any war left on planet Earth. It's because we're constantly at war with ourselves that we have all of this conflict in the world, because what happens in our minds is manifested in the real world. And if you look at most people's minds, it's a war zone. I hate myself. No, I don't hate myself. I love myself. No, you don't love yourself. You're rubbish. No, you're not rubbish. You're amazing. You're the best. Remember who your parents were. It's just back and forth. Most people are tormented and it's never ending, and it's a washing machine of just endless thoughts that conflict each other. And that's why I go on and on and on about meditation and trying to choose the better way of thinking and not believing the negative thoughts that come up in all of us. And the thing that we're all aiming for is this enlightened state, this ascension of really being able to consistently be positive, because then we manifest a positive life for ourselves that works. So when all aspects of your life work, you know that you've done the inner work on a thinking level to create that, because that's the building block and that's the root and cause of everything that happens in your external life. So you have a choice here, and you have an opportunity to choose again in terms of your thinking, and to choose a positive way of living and a positive way of seeing yourself and a positive way of being. And you have the ability to heal the negative tendencies within yourself and to kind of close those wounds forever, so that you raise your vibration permanently and that you operate on a more positive basis and that you manifest a better life for yourself. Isn't that amazing? 8 and 3 is 11. And 6 is 17. 1 and 7 is 8. And 8 is strength in numerology. So 8 in numerology is the same as 8 in the tarot. It's strength. It's the power to choose what you think, to choose what you believe, and to rise above your mind and your own thoughts, and to realize you're a spiritual being, and your mind is part of your human body, And you don't just have a brain, you have a spiritual mind as well that can influence what goes on in your human brain. We can, by changing the way we think, we create new pathways, neural pathways in our brains. It's like when you walk through the woods, the first time you walk through the woods, you have to go in with the machete and get rid of all the palm trees and forge your way through. But the second person who takes that path, it's a little bit easier. Once 100 people have walked that path, there's a very well-worn path going through the woods, and it's easy to navigate. It's the same way with the way you think. The first time you think in a positive way, or the first time you look in the mirror and you say, I love you, instead of I hate you, the first time you say that positive phrase, it may feel very jarring and weird, but once you've said it to yourself 1,000 times, you'll believe it. And it's a built-in thought in your head. It's a neural pathway that you've created that is then active and working in your favor. So this is an opportunity to turn things around, because you get the spiritual strength to do that today and to heal your own negativity that lives within you. So have a wonderful day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab to order your reading. Have a fabulous day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.